Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you are listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and I am Kevin. And this is my coffee, Dad Fuel. All my kids are grown and out and living their own lives, but we still talk all the time. And of course, I am still dad all the time. And nowadays, I'm also granddad with a few people as well. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I hope you have your own nice hot, steaming hot cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is you're drinking. Maybe you're drinking water or juice or a smoothie. Here's to you today. Today, oh my goodness, we're a few days away from September. 9 months into the year. I remember turning 20 into 2025 as if it were yesterday, and it was 9 months away. And it's incredible how the year is moving fast. We've talked about things moving fast, things moving slow, how you perceive that. It's our perceptions. The time is time. Time. I'm trying to get rid of this little thing here, if I can. Let's see if I can change that somewhat. Maybe not. So I hope that's not too there we go. Uh, distracting, a little less distracting. How's that? So time is time. You get 24 hours a day, 60 minutes in an hour for all of us. But the way it passes has to do with the way we perceive things, what's going on. When you're in the zone, meaning when you're truly focused and excited on something, whether it's actually work or a book or a show or whatever, time passes like that. And when you're not in the zone, when you're not as happy with what's going on and you're, you're feeling every moment, time passes so much slower. So you could say, maybe because 9 months have passed so fast, you've been in the zone a lot, or you've enjoyed things a lot, and maybe that's true, and that's great. But I found when I can actually have things slow down and enjoy more moments, and it's like I have a 9 minute. Don't ask me why it's nine. A 9 minute sleep, a snooze button. And sometimes that 9 minutes goes like I shut my eyes and it rings again. And sometimes my thoughts go off into things that, my subconscious wants me to think about. And it seems like it's forever, in a good way, by the way, for me. And then it rings again. I say, geez, it's only been 9 minutes. Wow. It's like I lived a half an hour here when I have my eyes closed, but it's only been 9 minutes or an hour for that matter. So, yeah, you can play around and see how you can control, your perception of time that you're living in and slow it down in a good way so that you're actually able to enjoy more and it doesn't go by too fast, or have it go by fast in a good way so that it goes by in those moments you don't want to. I first started doing this consciously in the doctor's office when I used to go to the doctors with my wife, and we'd actually have to wait, or go to the doctors for myself, and I actually had to wait for at least a half an hour to an hour, and sometimes more. And I knew ahead of time this was going to happen. So what can I do? What can I think about to have this time pass by? And I used to actually have this thought, okay, how can I get this so it only feels like 5 minutes? So it only feels like 5 minutes. And so I used to play around with time and my perception of time an awful lot. Here we go. And so, yeah. So today's August 26th. And you know what? It's National Dog Day today. So if you have dogs, celebrate. If you love dogs, celebrate, because it is National Dog Day. But it's also a few other things today, too. It's Believe it or not, National Cherry Popsicle Day. Cherry popsicles are not easy to find. So if you can go, if you're out to the stores, look for cherry popsicles and find them because today is National Cherry Popsicle Day. It's also National Pots de Cream Day. Well, no, that's tomorrow. Don't ask me what pots de cream is, but it looks like it has cherries and cream in it. Also, National Women's Equity Equality Day. And my story today is actually has to do with this National Women's Equality Day. Oh, and actually National Toilet Paper Day. Oh my goodness. Charmin. Oh my goodness. National Toilet Paper. I hadn't seen that ahead of time. This is great. National Toilet Paper Day. But let's talk about National Women's Equality Day. Because this morning I was out and I do some rideshare. So I was out picking up this woman at her truck. I pull in and it's a big dirt area with several trucks to the side, and one of them had the lights on. There was someone in there, and that's exactly where it told me I was picking her up. And this wonderful, youngish looking, youthful looking black woman gets out, and she's got a duffel bag that she puts in the trunk and brings out a bunch of other stuff. And so, and I had seen the truck, and it looks like a tanker. So we got to talking. I found out that the tanker was liquid nitrogen, which is pretty cool. It's very, not something you see all the time. And so we got to talking a little bit about that. Well, we were talking about her truck driving. She had just started 5 years ago. She had just started actually when she was going through separation and divorce. She needed to do something on her own. And she had been a file clerk for many years. And she talked about being, the trips are anywhere from sometimes 3 months to 6 months before she gets home again. And she said her daughter complains to her about being away too long. So I asked the age of her daughter. Her daughter's in her 30s. And I thought this woman might have been in her late 30s and 40s, but the woman was in her 50s. So she actually went out in her 50s or late 40s and got a whole new career, something that's very different and very unique for women. There are women truck drivers, there aren't a lot of them. And she's driving something where not only it's not about having trucks loaded and then unloaded by other people and you're only doing the driving. No, this is the liquid nitrogen. Make sure she has to learn all about it. She has to learn everything about the pressurization, how much she carries, where it is, how to hook up to all sorts of other systems. She has to learn the science and the physics of it. And I said, wow, this is phenomenal. And she was a go-getter, absolutely. She went out and changed her career and started out. And she's an independent truck driver, actually owns her truck. And just pulls the loads, whether it's liquid nitrogen or oxygen. There are all these type of trucks. And so it was just phenomenal talking to her, learning from her. I love meeting people who are self-driven, who are very happy with where they brought themselves to, and always looking to do more. And this woman she has a side job that she does online. So and I know the kind of truck driving she does makes her some really, really good money. Because I've run into other truck drivers and I know the kind of money that they make. And so I was inspired. I was inspired by someone who is exactly the way I teach my clients that I want my clients to be. And she just intuitively knows all this stuff and was brought up. But then I got to speaking with her, and she said, well, her parents own a business, grandparents own a business, a lot of family members own their own businesses. So it wasn't a big change when she decided she was going to own her own business, of her own truck and do truck driving, which is a business. And so it wasn't a big change to be able to step into those shoes. For a lot of us, it may be. For a lot of us, it may be a big change to be able to do that. Oh, I got some chats out there. Brenda Martin, my lovely wife, she's there. Good morning, sweetheart. Um, I just love meeting people like that. And as I was driving, when I'm coming back, I was also listening to a new book of mine on peak performance, but it's talking about peak performance or creating peak performance within businesses, within companies, within teams. And I loved what they were saying, but they had one specific quote, and this is our quote for the day. This is our quote for the day. And it's the more things change, the more they are the same. Very popular. Many people don't know where it comes from. Alphonse Carr in France. It's very popular, and it's almost like something that people will say to validate their situations. To validate their situations. What does this really mean? What does this really mean? The more things change, the more they are the same. Now, the quote came from the book because it's talking about what companies do. They'll try to change. They'll change management. They'll change this. They'll change that. They'll bring on, create a new mission. They'll change the mission. They'll change, but things tend to be the same. And sometimes when you go to change jobs, you say, I've had enough of the way this works here. You go to another company, another job, and it's completely different, yet it's completely the same in certain ways. And so that's where this comes from. The more things change, the more they are the same. So what does it really mean? It means that although we can externally try to change things for ourselves, and sometimes that really helps. But if we have internal beliefs that never change, this is my philosophy. If we have internal belief systems that never change, then we're not going to change. We're not going to change. No matter another saying, right? Take the kid out of Brooklyn, but you can't take the Brooklyn out of the kid, or whatever city it is, whatever state it is, right? So you can actually take someone, move them halfway across the world, yet if it's their values and beliefs are really ingrained, things aren't necessarily going to change. And if those values and beliefs are what have gotten them to non-resourceful situations, what have gotten them into situations that aren't good, that are bad, then the change is not necessarily going to do it. Now, I got to say, changing things up for some of us, and maybe for a lot of us, can help. You go, made a big change here for me 2 years ago, for me and my wife. We decided, we grew up and lived in basically the same town, not only the same state, the same town all of our lives until 2 years ago. And so, we were selling the house for myriad of reasons. We could have chosen to stay up there, go live in a different town, or the same town, different place. But we decided, let's radically do something different. Let's radically do something different. And so we moved down here. And all of a sudden, we're not only in a different place, and we're living in a a home that was one story, which we hadn't lived in all of our lives, which was necessary. One of the things we were looking for, and no, and now we're in a place that doesn't have winters, and we don't need to worry about snow shoveling or plowing or driving in snow at all. Um, but the culture is different down. The people are different down here. The vegetation is different down here. The wildlife is different down here. So the major differences, and that's what we needed. We needed to, and in a lot of ways, it did change. It changed health wise. It changed work wise. It changed a lot of things, and not all for the better. And there's certain things are still trying to move around, but most for the better, which was fantastic. If it wasn't most, we would have made another change. But it's funny because just come back from home, our old area, should I say. Um, Went to conference, but after the conference, visited with family and stuff like that. And when family and stuff like that, it's like, okay, some of the stuff we've had changes, but then some stuff hasn't changed. And when we get with those people, sometimes um, it's like, okay, going back to the old. Now, not all the old is bad. Not all the old is bad. Get to feel some of that old stuff about being living at home, and some of it draws us back, and some of it says, "Oh, I'm glad I'm not here anymore." um, but so a move in a complete change can work in some cases, and it's depending on the problems. Um, it won't work if their problems are deep grained. You're actually bringing the problems with you because they're in you. And that's what this means. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They're not staying the same because things change. They're staying the same because they're deeply ingrained. And you're trying to make changes and you can't. And when you have that, you got to look, okay, where does this come from? In my work, in the work I do, I'm always looking for something we call root cause. Where does it come from? Root cause most often comes from childhood. And you say, well, that makes sense. I had a lousy childhood. I was abused and this and that, and that's why I'm the way I am. It's not always that way. It's not always that upfront. And by the way, a lot of the times, the root cause goes deeper than specific events that happen to you. It goes deeper and it goes further in the past. It goes to where the belief system started in the first place, which made those events affect you so much. So, yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, one of the things that changes all the time for all of us, and it is consistent, we all grow up, we all get older. And if you're feeling the same way you did when you were younger and it's not a good feeling, then you need to deal with it. If you're feeling the same way you did when you were younger and it is a good feeling, you're saying, wow, I love this. I wake up every day and it's like, wow, that's a good thing. You actually like the fact that things didn't change for you. Everything else externally and your physical body changed, and your brain changed. You've matured. You learned things. But if you still have a lot of that, brought a lot of that stuff with you and kept it, and it's good for you, that's good. You like the fact that things changed and things stayed the same. Those things stayed the same. But for a lot of us, the things that are staying the same aren't very healthy. They aren't very good to live with. That's when you got to look deep. It's when you maybe need help. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm not a therapist, and I do things a lot faster than therapists and work in a much different way. But it doesn't mean that traditional therapy isn't good. Traditional therapy can feel good from day one. A lot of us keep things locked up, and when we have the chance to unlock them and just get it out. Now, that's not the way I work. I'm not there for someone to just unload everything on. I'm there to figure out where we go and what techniques we have to use to get rid of the stuff. So I am different. And if it's unloading that's needed, I'm not the person. But traditional therapists, most of the time, are the people you want to see. So if you're bringing in problems and they've just never gone away, and that's what's keeping it the same, go see someone. Go see a therapist. Go see an acupuncturist. Go see a hypnotherapist or someone who does healing of some sort that is reputable. Don't stay to yourself. If you can't change, make the changes on your own. If you've done all the research and you've tried self-help, self-help is just that, self-help. And when self-help doesn't work, you go to outside help. And so you can then say when things change, and that's part of the change, things are no longer the same. And that's what you want. And that's what you need sometimes. So do that. You can reach out to me. My website's www.pauseffects. That's not PAWS, it's POS, short for positive, pauseffects, EFFECTS.com. And you have a contact form right there. Or you can even directly email me. If you're on Facebook, you can DM me on Facebook or on LinkedIn. You can DM me or email me at kevin@pauseffects.com. Not just looking for help from me, but maybe looking for advice from me. I might be able to point you in the right direction if it's not me. But if things have been the same all your life and it hasn't been good, do something about it. It is in your control. You might say, well, it hasn't been in my control. I can't stop it from happening. Do something about it. Now, maybe you have looked. Maybe you have tried therapy. Maybe you need to try a different type of therapy. Maybe you need to go elsewhere. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep on trying to look for what change will bring you the actual change so it's not the same anymore. All right. This has been Coffee with Kevin. And I love being with you again this week. Man, we're approaching, and in December, it'll be 6 years every week. Missed a few weeks. And again, if you were here a few weeks ago, I had missed that time. Oh, Pat McIsaac, I think this is the first time you're on here. Thank you for referring a client to me. Thank you very much. This is the first time you're on here, Pat. And I saw you several times. We got to talk a little bit a few weeks ago at the conference, and I loved being able to talk to you. I love seeing you there and what you do and bringing in new hypnotists all the time is fantastic. And what you do as a hypnotist as well is fantastic. So thank you. And Larry, come here. I have 3 hypnotists on here. If you come on here and you see their names in the comments on Facebook, they're all incredible, wonderful hypnotists. You can reach out to them as well. Let's see. Thank you very much. James Gage. Gosh, it's been probably 15, 20 years since we have talked, James. This is a background. Of course, it's a fake background because you see because of the lighting. But that's downtown Tampa. And this is the office that I had envisioned. I wanted to be in a tower in downtown Tampa. And when I got here, I found that that's not what I really would want. I wouldn't want that. Wouldn't want to travel, wouldn't want to be there. But it looks great, doesn't it? And if it's the background past that, which is the greater background, that's just a bag of beautiful Colombian coffee beans. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to share the best content I possibly can. If you like this, please like this and comment. If you haven't commented, and share, because I want to help as many people as I can with this wisdom. All right, all. Have a fantastic day, and an incredible week. And like always, I'll say it's not because I'm wishing you that. It's in your power and it's your choice to make it a fantastic day and an incredible week. Take care, all.